right, so I apologize for the weird presentation thing, but the HDMI cord's not working in here, and yeah, so I'm just putting it on my laptop. All right, so my name is Tyler Hurley. I had the pleasure of interviewing Lisa Richards, and she is the CEO of Starkey. So it was a really fun experience, and I learned a lot, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about my experience. All right, so who is she? So Lisa is the CEO of Starkey, one of the chief executives there, and actually her husband is one of the chief executives there as well. And she's been there for over 25 years and always been one of the leaders there. And from the first time that I talked to her, I could just tell that she's very personable. She's easy to talk to. She is really passionate about her job and about young people as well. So she was really excited to talk to me about her job and encourage me and yeah, just give me a little bit more insight into the professional world. So yeah, and one other thing that I saw was that she's very discerning in the decisions she makes, the people she hires, and the opportunities that she takes. So that's one thing that I noticed before just by talking to her and also after the interview. So, sorry, this is kind of hard for me I can't read off the slides at all, but I'll try my best. So, the first thing that she really talked about a lot was empowering the people. So, I've heard that term a lot, but also in this case, she just really wants people to enjoy working for her and working with her and working with the people around them as well. So basically, one big thing that she talked about that really encourages this is removing roadblocks. So whether it be just a really tough situation or questions that they have, or just something that will keep them from moving forward or succeeding in a certain project or responsibility that they have, she takes the responsibility of removing that and allowing them to succeed and to lead others and to keep growing and learning. And she does that just by empowering her people. She listens to them and answers their questions and has an open communication with her employees, whether it's somebody really low in the company or one of her peers as the chief executives. So she just really wants to make each employee's experience at Starkey one where they'll build loyalty to the company. She's had a lot of employees that stay for, on average, about 15 years, she said. So once they hire somebody, they're really discerning with who they hire, and they hire for personality as well. So yeah, basically she just empowers her employees to want to work, to excel at their work, and just to be driven and motivated, and she rewards that with recognition or events or anything of the sort. And so yeah, she just said that she's really seen that play out in her company in the recent years. All right, so one of the main things that she talked about was positivity, and this was a really cool thing for me to hear from her. And basically, whenever she's walking around the company's building or interacting with employees, she always is exuding confidence, positivity, happiness, just like interest in what they're talking about or what their day-to-day life is or how their projects are going. So she really takes time to listen to them in that way too. And she hopes that her positivity will spread to her employees. So that's one thing that I learned is that you're a leader, you're a role model, and people follow what you do as a leader. So if you exude positivity, your employees are more likely to be positive on a daily basis. And one of her golden rules that she really kept bringing back up was to spread positivity and to pass negativity upward. So basically, spreading positivity is pretty self-explanatory. It's just on a day-to-day basis, just being positive. But the pass the negativity upward. That's just passing any negative conversations, any negative thoughts, any problems with the company or with a fellow employee. They want people to pass those upwards instead of spreading them around, because just conversation from employee to employee about negative things doesn't help anybody. So by encouraging them to bring it to the executives, they solve a lot of problems that way too, and just bring positivity, positive atmosphere to the workplace. So she's actually had a lot of tough times at Starkey, and one thing that I noticed is she never complained about any of those situations. One time they had 75% of their executives get fired for embezzling money from the company. So that was a really hard thing for her to have to deal with, but she dealt with it with organization and communication and positivity. So basically, she had to do it very fast. She had to keep the morale of her employees up, and she did that just by staying organized and not complaining ever, and just dealing with the situation at hand like a professional would. And so yeah, that was one of the biggest roadblocks that she overcame with positivity and organization. All right, so understanding your employees, she said, is one of the most important things that a successful manager should do, and she's been working really hard on that and finding ways to connect with her employees. One of the big ways, I have it in all caps there, is to listen to their employees, listen to whether it's them talking about their daily lives, problems that they have, or just talking about other people. Like I said, pass the negativity upwards. She listens to all the problems and she tries to problem solve, which is one of the great characteristics that I noticed while talking to her. Check. So she had this thing called the 3 to 5 engagement, which is a 3 to 5 minute conversation that she has to check up on employees who may have been struggling or are working on something big. And so she'll come up and it'll be about 3 to 5 minutes just to check up. And it's nothing negative, nothing. She doesn't want them to feel like she's coming at them. She doesn't want them to be nervous around her. So she comes and asks them, what is working for you? What are you enjoying about this project or this situation? And how can I help you in this situation? Like, what can I do to make this easier for you? And that just also just creates a feeling for the employee like they're understood. Their leader wants to advocate for them and help them. And it also just builds motivation on a day-to-day basis of just wanting to work, wanting to succeed, wanting to go above the expectations, she said. So, all right, so lastly, one of the big things, and this is probably the biggest thing that I took away, was how she understands her employees by interacting with their families. Not on a face-to-face level, but when an employee succeeds or does a great thing in the company, she'll sometimes write letters to their families or the people behind the scenes that are supporting that employee, because she knows that these employees are putting a lot of their time into this company, and that's a lot of time away from their families. She wants to respect that and to honor that, and so she'll send letters basically saying that this so-and-so did this in work, and we think he or she is doing an amazing job, and we just wanted to let you know, and thank you for all of your support behind the scenes, and we're so happy to have them. And that just makes, I think that's a very Christ-like thing to do, and also I think that it makes the home life easier on the employee. It makes them feel like they're being recognized. They're recognized by their leader and by the people at home, and it makes them want to succeed more so they can gain that positive feedback even more. And I just thought that was a great tool to keep in mind going into the future. So in conclusion, I had a really great time talking to Lisa. She is an amazing manager, an amazing person, And I just learned about understanding your employees, staying positive, and I just think that I learned a lot. And the key to being a good manager is to understand your employees and to have good people skills and to know what they want. And yeah, so thanks for listening.